Hey, this is Tom, and a day like today really makes me wonder what the hell is going on. So, we have somebody talking about a new meme stock ETF, whatever that means. Is this for real? It sounds like it's legit. We also have Cathie Wood buying up Chinese stock just 30 days after completely selling out. Why, Cathie? What happened in the month? Now, also, a lot of other news. The SEC just uncovered a new $110 million Ponzi scheme. This story is nothing short of insane. Sandy Monroe melts down on the internet, completely goes ballistic, rants against the Tesla investigation, rightfully so, by the way. However, gets misunderstood by mainstream media who claim that he's senile, that he doesn't know what he's talking about, that he's confused, that he's some crazy cooked up conspiracy theorist. I think they completely, intentionally or not, misunderstood what was his point, and I'll explain this video why the dude is right, even though that he kind of, blew a gasket there. But I think it was fun to watch. Another piece of news coming out of Cathie Wood talking about Palantir and how Palantir is way ahead of everybody. And if you change the word Palantir with Tesla, it literally sounds like the same text that she was saying about Tesla just a couple of years ago. Also, the FBI glitch with Palantir doesn't seem to be even a glitch at all, seems to be a FUD attack on Palantir. Essentially, based on the story actually developing a little bit further, now we find out that there was no glitch, that the Palantir software did nothing wrong, but rather the users actually fucked around with the system, basically causing access to be granted to people who should not have. This was the equivalent of me giving out my password and then blaming Microsoft of having bad software. This is exactly what happened, and I feel sorry for everybody who ran with this glitch story. I immediately said it was fun. In fact, I bought a shit ton of Palantir stock at 24. But again, this is the way of the world. When you get big, when you get innovative, when you get disruptive, people try to bring you down. We've seen this with Tesla. We've seen it with Palantir. Again, more in this story in a second. But before we start, a few important requests. Please don't click nothing. Don't smash nothing. Don't buy nothing. There's no courses, no sponsorships. Don't click, smash, buy. Just give me your attention. Just listen up. That's the only thing I'm asking for. Let's do this. SEC gets restraining order against financial advisor in alleged 110 million Ponzi scheme. According to the complaint, the defendants allegedly told investors, including many elderly retirees, that their investments were safe, could be used for different investment activities, would pay a fixed rate of income, and that they could take it out anytime without penalty after a short waiting period. Now check this out. It also alleges that Horizon did not earn any significant profits from legitimate investments, and very large percentage of purported returns, so-called returns, to early investors were simply paid out of new investors' money. Classic Ponzi scheme. We've seen it before with Madoff, with every single Ponzi scheme in existence. And I'm sure the SEC will come down hard on the people who are responsible. They're definitely going to prison. No issues there. But will the people get their money? These elderly retirees, the 110 million? That's gone. If you go back to the Bernie Madoff case, most of the victims didn't get their money back. So the question is, if you can't get them their money back, what is it worth to put this dude in jail? I mean, it's nice to have. It doesn't solve the problem. So if you can't bring the money back, and by the way, I don't think that should be always the default option, that the people just get screwed. And when we say, well, there's nothing we can do about it, I think there has to be some compensation mechanism from the government or whatever to basically help people. If the regulators fucked up, they let this happen under their watch, they should be responsible to compensate the people who got hurt. But moreover, how come in our entire existence we have not evolved beyond this? This is as old as Putin. This has been happening for decades and centuries. Could we not report this before it happens? Could we not invent some software that will predict this, warn us before that, and actually prevent these Ponzi schemes from ever happening? I mean, Palantir can definitely do it. Why don't we hook up IRS with Palantir, make it happen, and then we can identify this before it happens? But then again, the real solution should be to prevent these things from ever happening again. 110 million under the nose of every regulator, and you only hear about it post factum when it's just going to be about punishment, not preventative measures, which I think where the resources should be invested. But let's move on to the next story. So Cathie Wood, check this out, is buying up Chinese stock again. Cathie Wood makes about-face move on China, buying JD.com and Tencent shares. So check this out. Wood's ARK Fintech Innovation ETF just bought 235,000 shares of Tencent and 60,000 shares of JD.com. And check this out. I'm not pessimistic about China longer run because I think they're a very entrepreneurial society. So the question is, Cathie, and I like you a lot, but what changed in the last 30 days that all of a sudden this went from I don't want to touch this to I think they're a very entrepreneurial society and I don't have any issues with them long term? What changed in those 30 days? Because this is not a good look. This is a winner schnitzel flip. I mean, in 180 in 30 days, this is crazy. I mean, what were you thinking? You either don't sell and you stay, or you sell and you stay out. I've never seen anybody flip like that was not a politician or a participant in some sort of an adult film. This is insane to me. Now, as you can see right here on the screen, this is an article I showed you yesterday. Palantir glitch gave unauthorized FBI employees access to data. So essentially, when I read this, it's clear to me that the software by Palantir had a glitch that gave access to FBI employees. Sounds like a malfunction. Now, in my yesterday video, I said it's not a huge deal. It's a minor malfunction, blah, 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 blah. But it seems now that it was even that. Basically, what seems to have happened is that the FBI, the way they were using the software, were basically giving out passwords, so to speak. And now they're blaming Palantir for their software creating a glitch, giving access to people who shouldn't have. It's basically the equivalent of me putting my password online, blaming Google for having a breach or a glitch, allowing people to access my email. What the hell, FBI? I mean, you gotta be better than this. Now, while I do expect more from the FBI, I don't expect more from the mainstream media, especially when it comes to highly innovative, highly disruptive companies. We see it on a daily basis when it comes to Tesla. We now see it in Palantir, which is a great sign. The fact that mainstream media is starting to distort the headlines to take shots at Palantir like they're doing with Tesla is a really good sign that Palantir has made it to the big leagues. So if anything, it's a really good sign, but the story in itself is complete trash, bullshit, misinformation, FUD. And for the next story, we have to talk about what happened with Sandy Monroe. Now, I'm not going to play the whole clip, but on Sandy Monroe's channel, there's a video that was posted with him actually ranting, completely going berserk about how the government is slowing down progress by investigating Tesla. I like the guy. I was really afraid of how emotional he got in that video, but he was right. Problem with the mainstream media, they're trying to make him look like a senile old man who just lost and has no idea what he's talking about. So let me explain what's going on here. Let me show this article from CNN, which is not a friend of Tesla. So check it out. Federal safety regulators are investigating at least 11 accidents involving Tesla cars using autopilot. So we're talking about 11 accidents, 17 injuries, 1 death over the course of 3.5 years, from January 22 to July 10th, 2021. From 2018 to 2021, 3.5 years, 17 injuries, 1 death, 11 accidents. This is what gets investigated. This is the investigation. I feel like Allen Iverson with practice. Are we really talking about practice? I mean, Sandy Monroe was actually pointing out to that exact thing without even saying it. What he was saying in his video is essentially we have the regulators, not intentionally, but the regulators being bureaucrats trying to investigate and slow down a company over insignificant numbers. And of course, after Sandy's video, everybody in mainstream media came out saying, well, oh, senile old man, he's crazy, conspiracy theories, people are attacking Tesla, yes, a coordinated assault on Tesla, blah, 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 he's in his mom's basement. Well, that's not what Sandy Monroe said. He never said this was a targeted assault on Tesla just to bring down Tesla. He was saying about how bureaucrats behave with innovation. He was basically saying every time we have more innovation, more disruptions, bureaucrats and regulators tend to stand in the way and halt, slow down, and sometimes even ruin the process. He was using Tesla as one example of that. It's not about Tesla. It's not about the regulators in this case. It's about the grand scheme of things, how you have to allow progress to move forward, especially with a small number like this compared to the amount of accidents, injuries, and deaths over the last 3.5 years. Is this really what we're investigating? And for those of you who've been following Tesla for a while, you kind of gotten used to it. Misinformation, complete FUD, distortion. They took what Sandy said, used a strawman argument of something he didn't claim, and then basically proved him wrong. Again, mainstream media winning a debate against Tesla without actually debating the facts. Not surprising. Now, for the next story, I want to show this because this blew my mind. Meme ETF appears to be on its way thanks to Roundhill Investments. Check this out. The meme exchange traded fund will be made up of a grouping of companies that exhibit a combination of elevated social media activity and high level of short interest. I mean, this is crazy. This is literally the apocalypse for me. Is this really what we've come down to? Meme stock ETFs? Is this real? This has to be a joke. This is literally kind of Tell me we're in the bubble without telling me we're in the bubble TikTok thing. I mean, is this for real? Can anybody let me know if this thing is real or not? Because there's no way. There's no way there's going to be a meme stock ETF. This is even worse than some of these ETFs we're hearing on the cryptos. I mean, this is insane. Who thought of this? Now, for the final story of the day, I want you to take a look at this article. It's a really deep dive into the balances and checks, the Jackson Hole, the Fed, Jerome Powell. But this paragraph really jumped at me. I finally realized what's going on, why Jerome Powell is dragging his feet. He already lasted through one president. He only has to last for another 6 months to go for another run. So check this out. On top of that, Powell is up for renomination in February, as are several other Fed officials. Basically, he already outlasted Donald Trump. He just wants to pull through Biden. Now, if he actually shits in Biden's bed and basically crashes the market while Biden's in office, he's never going to get renominated. Obviously, he has to drag it out. He has to keep people drugged, the market's drugged, until he pushes them to the finish line in February. Once he gets renominated, it's going to be way easier for him. So that kind of explains why they're procrastinating so much with tapering. But jokes aside, I think the February is unrealistic. I think even though JP would love to keep it going until February, the only chance of him having that happen would be the Delta variant actually wreaking havoc, slowing down the growth, slowing down the economy, bringing less inflation. Unless that happens, I don't think he has the gas in the tank to make it to February. I think we probably see it in November, at the latest December, which means it was close, this close, but no cigar. Now, as always, a huge shout out to the channel members and the Patreons. You guys are amazing. If you want to join and support our channel, $5 per month, you get to join the community and support the channel. I would really appreciate it, but no pressure. These videos are free. As always, a huge thank you to everybody. Let me know below which segment you like the most. I'm really curious to see that. I'll see you tomorrow.